And we are back with another PPRFFMP episode 8 with our special guest, Zach Adam, Party Room Film Festival committee member. The council? Is it the committee or the council?
It's
I
a
never remember.
council.
It's the council. Council
Councilman.
member
That's
himself.
me.
He doesn't even know if it's a committee or a council.
I don't.
Well,
I don't. And that's what I bring to the table. But yeah, we're here. It is the first day of July. We are officially over the halfway mark for the filming season. We have Levi here, Mr. Stinky Pants Red member himself.
My gosh. It gets worse and worse every time a blue member comes on.
The next one, I'm going to call you Nipple Boy Levi.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We didn't see any nipple.
All right.
Oh,
well,
boy.
Thanks for joining us, Zach. We are happy to have you.
Heck yeah.
And your electric laugh. First question we've got for you. Do you think your film will be in on time?
Yeah. This year, I've taken a different approach. In the previous years, I've been such a perfectionist that I'll get the idea or I'll be waiting for the idea to fully form for my script and I'll fully write it out. And then I'll fully produce it. I'll collect all the props, pay for everything, and plan the shoot days out. I would be very methodical about it. This year, I've got shoot days set up and I'm kind of writing the script a little more before as those days come up. I'm getting the props together as those days arrive. I'm kind of doing it backwards. I've still got my idea, kind of how I want it to begin and how I want it to end. Just how those things fully come about in the actual dialogue isn't in stone. Trying to find a way to produce it faster. Y'all's films both you guys produce things very, very quickly by the seat of your pants, which I'm trying to learn from you masters. And
I don't know about master is a very strong word.
I think I'll get it in on time this year. I hope to.
There's a couple people out there who have voted for you, when we've asked them who we think the Golden Dewey winner is going to be, and they've pointed to you.
Paul and Andrew both said you, maybe.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, and that was very kind of them. But they also need to remember that I produced my films with 3 extra weeks every time. So my films are a film and a half. And so that definitely contributes to how good they are. With Power of Friendship, to make that idea work, to make the powers good enough to where they could be on screen and you know exactly what the powers do without them telling you. And then also those powers have to be good enough to so that you know when they fail, right? So that just took so much time to produce, but it's just too big of an idea for something like Party Room. You should do that in an actual film scenario. That's what I wanted to do. But so this year, hone it in just a little bit, doing something a little more bite-sized. But I think the Zach Adam heart will still be there. That's what I want to capture.
That's an interesting take. Do you think that the 2-month time limit feels like it puts some of the really, really good filmmakers on more of the same level with some of the Jacobs and the Trevors of the Party Room Film Festival?
Here's the thing. Here's the brilliant thing about Party Room. When you have that time limit, you are pushed to actually make something. And with the 8-minute time limit, you have to produce a story within that range. And that makes you trim any fat that you have and you leave a bite-sized product that is all the good stuff.
Just the chicken nuggies.
Yeah. So I think it's all designed to I think it has actually made everyone better storytellers, better filmmakers, in at least a short form format.
Yeah.
So where is your film at right now? What stage is it in?
So my film is in very much more pre-production. I sat down today and was writing more of it. I always love to have a aesthetics to it. You look at Wet, and Wet is very blue and green. It's kind of almost like a road movie where it just kind of goes in one direction. and it gives you a bunch of clues and then hits a wall at the end and you're startled by the wall. So it's kind of got this, like, it alludes to something horror and then it hits the horror, and it doesn't, it gives you that expectation. Then you've got Kill Happy, which is black and yellow. It's happy and dark, juxtaposition of funny and death. And then you've got Power of Friendship, which is blue and orange, which is these kind of opposites that can't really mix. And that,
and green, there was green.
yeah,
Eminem, you did win the Green Award.
I did. Always thought Tanner should win the Green Award because all of his films are so green because they're all just in the backyard.
Right.
Like, he should have won the Green Award.
It also has a character.
It has
named...
a character named Gilbert the Green.
Yeah.
But yours had green M&Ms.
It did. So this year, to actually answer your question, I have the aesthetic down that I want, and I've tested the aesthetic and shot a scene, essentially. Okay. I actually really like it. So awesome. We're rolling with it.
Good.
Cool. Good. That's exciting. It's good to hear from the blue team. You know, we've got a real winner on our hands, it seems like. You know, well, I couldn't say the same from Levi, but
it's funny. I've helped like all red members at this point. Like, I've helped like a bunch of the guys on the red. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm such a traitor.
Traitor.
Right.
Zach, you consistently have people work on your movies that are outside nerd. Do they look forward to the festival and filming season just as much as you?
Yeah, they do. At least the people that I've had on as regulars, they will watch like the announcement video. They will watch like some of the podcasts. They've mentioned that they've actually listened in on a few of them. They love Party Room. The idea of it is brilliant. And I think that people like wish they had a community like this. Like, I sent my script for this year's film to the team that's helped me with Wet, Kill Happy, Power, like they've helped me on all of them. And I kind of screen the script through them for weaknesses to see if there's anything weak in it that could be better, a select few. And then they'll actually help me film it if they have the time. What we have is very cool, and as long as they've seen at least 90% of the films, they'll get some of the jokes from the current year. So
that's cool.
Sure. Yeah. Are you gonna warn them about how the blue team needs to lather their butts? Did you give them any context into the butt lathering?
I mean, I think part of Party Room is just like being so you have to succumb to the madness a little bit.
That's fair.
So like, if I was gonna warn them, then wouldn't that take away from what Party Room is?
I'm on board with not warning them about the lathering that needs to take place.
They might not show up if they hear that. You know,
that's true. That's true.
Come and enjoy this.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't show up to a butt lathering.
It's really funny.
So your matchup this year is against Cody, and your theme is hot and cold. What degree would you say your film is hot? Like, how hot is it in Kelvin, Celsius? I guess Fahrenheit. However you'd like to, put that out there.
So what I like to do when I come up with my films, I take the prompt that I'm given and I try to run as hard with it as I possibly can in a way that no one expects, right? Mm-hmm. So like Wet's probably the best example where I made it into an acronym and I turned it into like an alien movie. Like, I think like that's pretty out there. So how hot is my movie? It is just like volcanic, man.
Okay.
Center of the sun, man.
That's what I like to hear.
Who do you think will win the Golden Dewey this year?
Well, I am very happy that a couple people said that I would win it. I think Andrew should have won it when he submitted Pegged. I think if Andrew was going to win it, it would have been when he submitted Pegged. Like, I think that there's just bias because he is the king. Hail to the king, baby. But like, yeah, I don't think people will vote for him because of it. And he has to be like the bad guy. Like, he has to be like, hey, Mitchell, submit your movie on time. Like, yeah. I do think that is a factor. Like, he has to be the father in our Trinity. And he has to, he has to scold a little bit, that firm hand. So like, I would say Andrew. Paul could easily win. I think it would be really, really awesome if Tanner's third act in his trilogy was like really spectacular. Like if it did this just overwhelming Return of the Jedi like wallop and like really like tied his three movies together, I would like love to see that.
Yeah.
And just like really go uber Christian with it. You know, I want to see Aslan, and I want to see, you know, I want to see Gandalf come over the hill. Like,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to see
Riding
like
a white horse.
exactly, yeah, and like I would vote
See
for
Gollum
that.
falling into the goblet of fire.
Yeah, the Goblet of
Bro,
Fire.
that's disrespectful.
To answer that question, I think that like anyone could win it. Like I even think Mitchell could win it if he can like just submit LePage too and like just go really hard with it.
Mhm.
If he just adds his own butt this time, I think that would add a vote.
I'd probably vote for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Josiah. I think Josiah,
Okay.
Mitchell said
Yeah.
Josiah is underrated, and
Criminally.
it's 1,000% true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously
That's
true.
fair.
Whenever there's new people that come to Party Room and they're like, "What is this?" I will show them a Josiah film. It's kind of the more out there humor, and it's not always like it's like the perfect amount of like you have to be in the know to get the joke,
Mhm.
but then also there's a lot of jokes in it that are just plain old funny.
I think that was an interesting question you posed. I know a lot of people have talked about when they explain to other people what Party Room is, and they say like, "Oh, these are the films that I show them to explain it." If
Yeah.
if you had three films to show someone to explain to them as best you could what Party Room is, could you tell us what those would be?
Yeah, and because I do have the three. I
Okay,
do
he's already got it locked and loaded. I love it.
yeah, I do Evil first, and then I do like probably Bargain Batman,
Mhm.
and then My Girlfriend is a Scream.
Okay, I think those are some good ones. Yeah,
Nice.
a lot of diversity there.
Yeah, it gives you a range.
Yeah.
It also shows like Evil was made first year, right? And so it like shows like here's our janky humble beginnings, which is what everyone expects the festival to be.
Yeah,
By
they
the
expect
time
it to
you
all be that. Yeah,
yeah, and by the time you get to anything from year 3 and half the
Yeah.
stuff from year 2, it's like, oh, they actually know what they're doing. Like
Yeah, we've
Rotten
moved on
Roommate
from
is
that.
like top tier. McGlone Fever Dream top tier.
So good.
Yeah.
The audio is so good in that one.
Whose film do you think is going to be better this year? Is mine or Trevor's?
Before I answer that question, I've got to probe just a little bit.
Awesome probing.
So like, all right. So how much green screen are you using this year?
Well, let's put it like this.
Oh boy.
I had Aaron come over.
Oh
Okay?
God.
I had Aaron come over. I had Sam come over. We sat around for like 35 minutes, and then I filmed Aaron for about 15 minutes in my living room. And then I said, I think that's all I need. I think I can figure the rest out in post. So,
Oh boy, it's going to be a good year.
I'll let you
Good.
kind of decide how much green screen you think there will be.
Okay, and I've got another question. Levi, a couple of people have said maybe not a music video. Like, are you entertaining some of those ideas? Doing something different?
I am. I'm pretty intent to make audio an integral part of the experience of my film, but not the music.
Cool,
So-
cool. All right,
There you go.
all right.
A couple little Easter eggs for
Mhm.
from Levi and I.
That's right.
That's right. All right. I'm gonna say Trevor's gonna make a better film because he's my teammate.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm unsubscribing. I hate this show.
How much money have you put in / do you plan to put in to your film?
So that's like a crazy question. I always put like a whole lot into it. Like my shoots have typically been a lot bigger than a lot of other people's shoots. Like I have a whole lot of people that are helping me, so I try to make sure they all have food. My films are always like very prop heavy, and I don't really skimp on the props. Like I'll spend time like painting things, and I'll spend time on makeup. Power Friendship, I had to get like a white morph suit for Friend Zone.
Oh yeah.
There's always like a million little things. So, I mean, I easily spend like $100 at least
All
on a
right.
party room film. I try not to do equipment besides borrowing from people because that gets really pricey. Like if you get a new phone, I mean, like I
Right.
hope my phone lasts an eternity, but I do love like if I want somebody to have a fake mustache, I'll probably spend an extra dollar just to make it not look like garbage.
Respect
Yeah.
that.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
So, would you vote yes for Trevor for council?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and somebody mentioned like what council member would he replace? I mean, he'd probably have to replace me because what I do is mainly like I'm just the groundskeeper of party room where I like make sure people have like places to sleep. I like make sure okay, like are we going to get porta potties this year? You know, there's very little that I like do on like what rules should we have this year. I don't care. I don't care about half the rules anyway. But I think if Trevor, if you actually did want to be more involved in things and actually work on some of this stuff, we need somebody who keeps everyone on track during the festival days. You know, maybe let's go play frisbee. Watch McGlone get his beat in Mario Baseball
That's
at
right.
like 2:30. I almost need like an extra dude to be like
Yeah.
give that guy the authority. He's got the power. Everybody's gonna follow him.
We have talked about that, like having more of like a soft itinerary list of things we want to do. We have loose times on when they want to happen. If we kind of linger one way or the other, that's okay. But actually having a little bit more set schedule would be a lot of fun.
Trevor, this is your first step in. This is
Yeah. I got my foot in the door.
this is big.
I'm like Andrew over there in Washington D.C. You know, taking pictures of people, getting my foot in the door.
Cool.
Now the real question is, why is the blue team better than the red team?
The blue team is better than the red team. One, because there is so much more camaraderie. You know, the blue team is constantly communicating. Two, they have a really good name. I actually really like the name you came up with, Trevor. That was excellent.
It's a banger. Blue
You guys are the
yeah.
only ones who like it.
Yeah.
Oh no, and all blue teamers like it.
And three, like our team leader is like keeping everybody really on track with things. Like he checks in and he's like moving us towards that end goal of absolute sweeping victory. So
domination.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Zach, do you have anything that you want to tell the people about your film?
I think with my films, I always like to add in a message. Like, what am I learning this year as a person or about filmmaking or just whatever? And I'm able to talk about that in Party Room. And so I really appreciate everyone for enduring my self-reflecting in my
We
film.
like it.
Well, good. Well, good. So, thank you, everyone, for dealing with me.
I think it adds a lot of depth to your films. You could just tell that there's like something going on underneath. So, no, I think it's a beautiful thing about your films.
I really appreciate that. Like, my favorite thing is when people come up and like talk to you about your film, but they talk about themselves almost like they talk about like almost like what they experienced. Like that was like relatable, like and that's like really cool. It made them feel something. It's pretty cool stuff.
Well, I'm excited. I'm very pumped to see your film and the Golden Dewey winner you will be this year. So you all know what it is. I'm just hanging out
with my family.